Gosei Sentai Dairanger!
Hey guys, and welcome to another one of my Gosei Sentai Dairanger episode commentary and reviews. This time it's episode 37. You have to see it. Enormous one. And remember, if you enjoy what you see, please remember to like and subscribe, and maybe even leave a comment down below on what you thought of the episode. And speaking of, let's get into it. The episode opens with Kameo, Ku and Kazu stargazing, when Kameo sees a silhouette against the moon of a giant dragon. Before his crystal glows and he's turned to a turtle. Before returning to human form, claiming the King of Terror is coming. The next day, Ryu and Kazu are discussing what it means when they receive a call from Rin about Ku. Rushing to her place, Ryu opens the door and they're assaulted with energy as the boy floats in his room. Meanwhile, Daigo and Shoji are in a pachinko parlour when everyone is stopped by a man introducing himself as Pachinko Daimajin, who moves Shoji before, with his eyes flashing, he wins a jackpot before walking away and doing it on other machines, throwing the balls everywhere, before revealing himself to be a Gorma monster, attacking everyone, as Daigo calls for help, while Ryu is trying to approach Ku. Outside, Pachinko Great Master is fleeing the parlour, but he's followed by Shoji and Daigo, who transform, attacking the Gorma, who retaliates by throwing exploding pachinko balls at them, before turning them into a ball, bouncing them around before they explode, and Pachinko leaves. Back at Rin's, Master Kaku has arrived, saying it's a massive amount of Yurioku power coming from Ku, as Rin realises that his birthday must be approaching, and the Tiger Seal is weakening. They hear Byaku Shinken telling them a Gorma is sending power from elsewhere, and controlling Ku's dreams, as Byaku enters Ku's dreams to see the boy alone, telling him to wake up as it changes from city to forest, and he watches Akumaru's carriage arrive, as Byaku warns him to be careful. Akumaru explains his resurrection from hell and attacks Ku, before telling him he will become a Gorma if he doesn't meet his mother before he turns 10, before they see a building, and inside is Ku's mother chained up, before Akumaru says Ku won't even awaken before his birthday, as in the real world, the energy pulses and disappears, and as Rin rushes to Ku, Byaku tells them of Akumaru's resurrection, as high above, the dragon flies over the earth. At the Gorma Palace, Gorma 15 and Akumaru are playing cards, as Shadam watches on, and Akumaru tells him Kiba Ranger will become Gorma when he turns 10, and he'll use that to destroy the Dairangers. Later, the Triumvirate are meeting as Shadam has the idea to use the Yurioku from Pachinko Master to affect Ku's Gorma blood and turn him into his servant. Elsewhere, Pachinko Master is playing in a parlour when he starts to glow, before running out and causing havoc with fairground rides, as Shoji and Daigo arrive. Transforming, they leap in, fighting the Gorma, as Ryu and Kazu arrive. And as Shadam appears to possess the Gorma using a bomb to grow giant, he starts wrecking the nearby buildings. As Gara and Zydos arrive with Kopatros. Pachinko fires a blast that enters Rin's apartment, hitting Ko, who immediately sits up. And as the Rangers continue fighting the Kopatros, Kiba Ranger arrives, attacking the Dairangers, as Rin arrives calling for him to stop as she transforms. Ryu calls for Ryuseo, changing to warrior mode and attacking the Gorma, while below, Kiba Ranger, Zydos and Gara attack the Rangers. As the two giants fight, buildings are destroyed and civilians flee, as Kameo rushes in, shouting for the fighting to stop, or else he will come and destroy the planet, as the two continue to fight, but the skies grow dark as the dragon makes an appearance, and the fighting stops as everyone looks up. Ryu summons the other guardians and flies on the Heavenly Key Palace, dwarfed by the dragon as it flies along, as the episode ends. Okay, seriously, what an introduction to Daijinryu. I mean, it dwarfs Ryuseo as it's flying around, and just its very being, its existence, its presence is enough to just buildings going, I'm not even waiting for the fight. Boom. They're just blowing up because it's there. They don't even want to wait. And that's a hell of an intro. I mean, right from the start, where you see it sort of doing that, going across the moon, you're like, okay, that's like quite close. I mean, my lock screen on my computer is the ISS going past the moon. And because of, like, it's so much closer, it looks like it covers a sizable portion. So you sort of wonder, like, perspective-wise, but even so, that's still, like, it looks big. And then when it comes down, you're like, okay, because he's sort of like, beep. It's one of the reasons why, I don't have it as part of my collection. Because you could never do any proper display with it. It was always Lord Zed's machine anyway, so I didn't want any evil mech. Although I suppose in this, it's sort of chaotic good, I guess. Like, supposed to, like, manage to balance the universe or whatever, I think Kameo explains. But, if you actually had one to scale, if you think of the size of Tor, he's probably about that big. I didn't realise until I got him just how big he actually was. Although you think it fits one tiger inside, or you say so. So it's got to be a decent size. For him to fit underfoot of Daijin-Ryu, it'd probably be as tall as this room for it to be an accurate model. So, yeah, although that doesn't happen this episode, but we all know that happens. As for the other plot thread of the episodes, well, one of the other plot threads, is everyone now seems to want to turn Ku into a Gorma slave, with Akumaru, like, starting it off first. But then he goes and blabs his plan to Shadam, who now decides, oh, I'm going to do that instead. So he's able to use Pachinko Master's, like, Yurioku power. Once he's been possessed and gone giant, he's sort of shot the power out to... And he does take over Ku, and the fact that he's, like, able to come in and just beats up the Dairangers in 2 seconds flat. It's shades of Barai from Dairanger last year when he first turned up, and he just fought the Rangers and beat them pretty soundly. And Ku's basically doing the same thing while possessed or under the control of Shadam. I do also like, there's a couple of things I've got in my notes here. One is that Zydos complains that Pachinko Master only wants to play and not fight. Which, when I saw that line, I was like, that is so weird. Because, of course, most people should know, before I even get to that stage later in this video, of what episode used the footage, the monster. Which was Rocky Wants to Have Fun, where he gets put under dead spell and he just wants to play. And I'm just wondering, were the writers sort of watching the original Dairanger, see Zydos complaining, they're going, that sounds really good. What we should do that. Who should we make it that just wants to play and, like, not do any of the fighting or anything? We'll do it for Rocky. We haven't done anything with him. And they never did anything with him again. Seriously, I'm sure, like, Steve Cardenas, I think his name was, the actor, was good. But he was cardboard in Power Rangers because they just never did anything with him. This was the most he ever got. And it was like, I don't want to fight. I just want to play. Ding, 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 ding. That was the most memorable episode he got. And yeah, I'm just wondering if, like, the writers just took inspiration from Zydos' complaints to the monster. Also, the fairground area where Pachinko Monster is, like, causing havoc. Although the havoc is basically make the rides go quicker. Which on some of the rides, the people are probably enjoying it. It's like, way! I swear that is the same place where the Dairangers had their first fight against Dora Skeleton in, like, the first or second... No, second, I think, episode of Dairanger. That's it. Dairangers had their first fight in the first episode of Mighty Morphin Power. No. First episode of Dairanger. So it's nice when they reuse the locations. I'm watching Abaranger in my spare time at the moment. And I swear, like, every now and again, I'm just sort of like watching it going, oh, I recognise that place. They've used that place again. Oh, I recognise that. And I think even Gojuju earlier this year used that amphitheatre area at some point that was in as far back as Dairanger. So it's nice to see some of these places being reused so that older fans can literally be like, I know that place. That's where there's this really good fight. Or, oh, that was where they're up against King Sphinx. Or, oh, that was this bit. Or, oh, that's the one with the clown. I love being able to do that. But speaking of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Footage from this episode was used in The Power Transfer Parts 1 and 2, Rocky Just Wants to Have Fun, The Great Buchla Escape, The Wedding, Lord Zed's Monster Heads, The Potion Notion, and A Zeo Beginning. 7 episodes. 6 of them, in fact, no, wait. All 7 of them using the Daijinryu footage. Serpentera, Lord Zed's own personal Megazord. Most of the footage comes from this episode and the next one. And all those episodes use the footage from this. Which I think some of this footage is even repeated next episode anyway, so... But, yeah. Obviously, the main part of this that is used is Pachinko Master, who's in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 2, Episode 32, Rocky Just Wants to Have Fun. And original footage is actually filmed for it. Hey! And, you know, like in Dairanger, he turns the Rangers into balls. Although in Dairanger, it was the 2 Rangers turned into one big ball. And with Power Rangers, they were just turned into individual footballs. Now, for the Americans among you, I'm not talking about an American football, which is, you know, a rugby ball. I'm talking about soccer, you know, a round football that you kick with your foot. You do not pick up with your hands at any time. Sorry, but I've never understood why Americans call it football when you carry it with your hands, as opposed to football, where you kick the ball with your feet all the time, which is played by 22 overpaid people chasing after a ball for an hour and a half. I don't get either game, but at least I understand the name of one of them. But basically, going back to the thing, you know, in Power Rangers, they're actually kept as balls for quite a while until they're able to undo the spell. And they do, I think it's on the Rocky ball, and he comes back and, you know, he's back to normal and has to go off and beat the monster because Tommy's beaten, and yeah. And the giant fight is actually edited pretty well, which is the main thing I sort of look for now, is how they edit the footage, because so much of it is, I mean, some of the Dairanger, Power Rangers edits were just butchered. First time I watched, like, the King Sphinx and Dairanger episodes 5 and 6 with Dora Sphinx, I was, like, watching the fight, and it's like, my God, they butchered it. And it's like, hold on a minute. And going back and watching the episode again, just for that bit, after watching that, and I'm like, wow, all of a sudden, some of these scenes make more sense when you know the original footage. So, like I say, the editing is so important, and it's done really well, because it changes a fight between Pachinko Monster and Ryuseo into a fight between Pachinko and Tigerzord. Well, for a few seconds anyway, because one attack and Tigerzord's out of the fight. Funny that, when he's usually so powerful. But luckily they revive Rocky, and he goes to fight in the Red Dragon Thunderzord, and it's pretty much back to normal. And the last bit of my notes is just saying, a fair bit of footage of Serpentera comes from this episode, and boy does Power Rangers make the most of it. However, because there are only limited shots of the giant, and that explains why Zed was always having power issues. Because he was. Literally, anytime Serpentera turns up, you've got Gold offline it, Zed sat in, like, the captain's chair behind him, and you just get, "My lord, our batteries are empty, we must flee!" And Zed just could be like, yes, retreat, I'll get you next time, Power Rangers, That's it. It's like every single time, because the batteries run out. Oh no! They had no footage. You gotta laugh. But at least they came up with an excuse, so... You know, it couldn't be a god coming down and going, "You naughty boys, I will spank you if you do not stop fighting." I don't know where that accent came from. It is just, "My lord, our batteries are dying. Retreat before they can, like, slowly beat us by attacking 1 foot at a time." You know, Power Rangers literally have to fight 1 foot and then fight the other foot, and then, I guess, try and cut it in half at somewhere down the line. And then, like, try and get the front paws, and they'd have to fight it in stages. It's so big. But anyway, we'll see what happens with Daijin Ryu next time with her, a ceasefire. I'll see you then.